what is up guys? Welcome to another episode of Wine with B. My name is Bailey and today we have a special guest star. My cousin Jordan is joining us here today. Say hello.
What's up, party people?
Okay, so Jordan's going to be helping me out today, scoring the movie and drinking some wine. So let's just jump into the wine and get right to it. Okay, so jumping into today's wine, we will be drinking Decoy. We actually drank this bottle on Christmas Eve with our family in El Paso. My sister brought this bottle and I liked it, so I rebought it. So let's pop this guy open. I'll let Jordan do the honors.
Thanks. We're just going right after.
Right after it. Oh, yours didn't make as much of a fun sound that mine usually does. Alright, let's pour some. I did plug this for you guys at Total Wine. You guys can get it there for about $18.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Alright.
Taste test? What do you think?
I'm in. I like it.
What do you like about it?
It's got a smooth finish. Probably tastes good with the steak.
So this one, I taste some like that tobacco-y, not as much vanilla as some other cabs. A little bit like of a more, it has more acidity to it.
Yeah, it's a little earthy too. That's good.
Alright, let's jump into the movie. Alright, so jumping into today's movie, we will be reviewing another Netflix original movie called The Highwaymen. So let's just jump into the scoring. Acting quality, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. What do you got?
So I originally wrote down a 7, but I think we go a little higher. Just remembering the movie, I think we go a 7.3.
7.3, alright.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, about the same.
Okay, so the movie stars Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, so obviously those two guys have been in a bunch of stuff, but we will jump into the casting after we do the whole score sheet. Alright, for plot development, I gave it a 4.5 out of 10. And I can tell you why, and I think it's just because it was a little slow for me.
It was slow. It took a little while to get going, but I gave it a 5.3. I didn't think it was that bad. It was kind of like a slow pull, but I liked it. It was okay.
Alright. Originality, I gave this one a 10 out of 10 because this is the untold story of Bonnie and Clyde. It is the heroes who saved the day and caught them, and so since it was an untold story, that means it's 100% original in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was original. Really haven't heard of those two guys before. I gave it an 8.2. 10 out of 10, a little hot for me.
Alright, fair enough.
Inception to 10.
Okay. Inception to 10, got it. Alright, next is the genre. Next is the genre, which is crime/drama. This is undisputed, so we don't really have anything to talk about on that one.
No, it's got noir, crime, and everything you want.
Yep. Alright, hit or miss. Despite there being a lower plot development score, I said this was a hit.
And I can only pick between hit or miss.
Yeah, well I guess you could say eh. I sometimes do eh.
Yeah, I thought it was eh.
Okay, that's...
But leaning on the hit side.
Yeah, I could maybe say eh, leaning on the hit side as well, but with only two options, I'm gonna go with hit. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 58%, so we'll see how that lines up with our overall scores at the end. Okay, so I'm giving this one on would recommend a 5 out of 10. It's kind of like if you're into like some rugged old cop movie, then like definitely go watch it, but if you're like more of like a chick flick kind of gal, like probably don't. What do you think?
Yeah, you really have to like the genre to like this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
It's tough if you're not into that kind of thing.
Yeah,
really slow. It's
even been compared to like western-y movies, so if you're into those, I would say you might like it. Okay, so for overall score, my average ends up being a 6.75. What is yours?
No way, mine was a 6.7.
Oh shit, oh dang it, I can bleep that out.
Yes.
No, I guess I can. Okay, so we ended up being pretty close and just a little bit higher than Rotten Tomatoes, so let's talk about the movie. Okay, so jumping into casting, I think that this movie had a stacked cast. I mean, starting with Woody Harrelson, he was in
Kingpin, No Country for Old Men.
This movie has also been compared to No Country for Old Men, which is more of a western, like I said, but it's kind of the same concept of like some old cop trying to like redeem himself kind of situation. And then Kevin Costner, he's in it as well, who's in
Bull Durham, Tin Cup, The Bodyguard.
Oh, he's also in Yellowstone, which I have to admit I haven't seen that show. I know, shame on me, everybody says that show's awesome.
Dances with Wolves, a classic.
Yeah, so really great. So those are the two main characters, and they're both cops. And we got Kathy Bates, who plays the Texas governor, and she is in American Horror Story. She's also did a stint on The Office. She was in Titanic, so obviously she's a really versatile actress. Another thing I wanted to mention about Kevin Costner, though, is that I felt like he was like channeling his inner Clint Eastwood in like Gran Torino, or honestly any Clint Eastwood movie for that matter, throughout this movie. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, I could see how you came to that conclusion. You know, the the old guy who's stuck in his ways,
Yeah.
like, always gonna do what he thinks is right.
And like really trying to like be like, I can do this, damn
Right.
it, like
Yeah.
that kind of situation.
Even though he knows he's lost a step with the gun scene in the beginning.
Yeah.
With kids throwing the bottles and he misses every one.
Yeah, that's not really a spoiler, don't worry guys. He's basically just been out of commission as a cop. He was a Texas Ranger, or both of them were Texas Rangers, and then they decommissioned the Texas Rangers, so both Woody Harrelson and Kevin Costner's characters hadn't been in the game of being cops for quite a while, which is a nice segue into talking about the movie. So, like I mentioned before, this is the untold story of Bonnie and Clyde, the two cops who caught them, and kind of their redemption story, if you will.
Yeah.
I did think that it was kind of like a bad cop, good cop kind of vibe between Kevin Costner being bad cop and Woody Harrelson being good cop. That's why I compare Costner to Clint Eastwood, because he's just like angry, like, and then Woody Harrelson is like drinking, and like Kevin Costner's like, hey man, you've been drinking still? Like, are you still like, are you sober? And he's like, yeah, I'm sober, and then like goes to the side of the car and like throws one back.
Woody Harrelson was good for comic relief.
Yeah.
There's a little sprinkle in there.
It was a little slow. I feel like some parts could have been taken out, like some unnecessary dialogue maybe. That's probably where most of the points were docked. I feel like it could have been like 30 minutes shorter. And I know Jordan always gets mad at me because I say, I liked that movie except for I wish it was 30 minutes shorter. And he's like, that's always your complaint. But this one I feel like it literally could have been 30 minutes shorter.
Could not agree more. I would say at least 20.
Yeah.
And it would have wrapped up nicely.
Yeah. It did come together at the end for their nice finale scene. If you don't like gore, maybe skip that part or just, yeah, like beware. And then the only other con to this movie, and I feel even weird saying it because I don't feel like I have a right to, but I wish that they talked more about Bonnie and Clyde and their story throughout. I realize that this is the story of the heroes who saved the day. However, I'm a bit of a crime junkie, so like I want to know about the murderers more than the people who caught them. And I know that's kind of like crappy of me to say, and I realize that the movie is not about Bonnie and Clyde specifically, but I just wish it, like, I don't know.
So I actually kind of like that they didn't show too much of Bonnie and Clyde, because I think that would have kind of been a distraction of what the movie was actually about.
Right.
And I thought it was cool that they were kind of like these ominous characters that you didn't really have like a clean look at what each one of them looked like.
Yeah, they never show their face until like the end, and then even if it's kind of hard to.
Well, I think everybody knows how Bonnie and Clyde went.
Yeah, so fair enough. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. Obviously, they get caught. If you haven't taken any American history courses, I'm sorry for the spoiler on that one. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to add?
So, a couple fun facts that I looked up about the movie.
Oh.
So it's pretty much all shot in Louisiana.
Cool. Which is interesting because they started in Texas, and it was kind of like they were Texas Rangers, and they actually like lost their jurisdiction when trying to go on this goose hunt for them.
And my last fun fact is that the Dallas newspaper sold 500,000 copies of the ending of Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, the real story or the movie?
No, the real story.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I figured that that's what you meant, but wanted to clear the air
Yep,
in
real
case anybody
story.
else thought that.
Yeah.
Huh, that's super cool. Well, thanks for the fun facts.
No problem.
But that is all I have for you guys this week. Thanks, Jordan, for joining us.
Thanks for the invite.
Hopefully, Jordan will be making more of a regular appearance, maybe once a month.
I'd love to.
It was actually really fun having you and not having to just talk to the camera the whole time. I got to chat through the movie with you, who also watched it. But I hope you guys enjoyed having Jordan on. We will be seeing more of him. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and until next time, cheers!
Cheers.